Most people are at least somewhat aware of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Less, but still a good amount, are aware that the entire franchise started out as a parody of the grim and gritty 80s comics like Daredevil. The story of how two comic artists made a money printing machine out of what was essentially a joke concept is an interesting tale, but not one that I really want to address. No, I think it would be fun to dig into what few people really know about the Turtles. What happened to their first major villain, the Shredder? For those that grew up on the never ending adaptations of the original comics, the Shredder was a major villain that would constantly be fighting against the Turtles in every iteration. This is even one of the main concepts of the TMNT movie Turtles Forever. Shredder from the 2003 cartoon travels to the Turtle Prime, the source universe for everything that springs from the TMNT multiverse. His plan is to end this universe and thus eradicate all of the Ninja Turtles in every universe. Turtle Prime is actually heavily based on the Mirage Studios' original comic book run. In this universe, the Turtles meet the original Shredder, but he is easily taken out, which is a subtle nod to his comic book debut. See, in the original comic book, the Turtles were trained to fight Shredder in an attempt to avenge the death of Splinter's mentor. They have a brief battle on a rooftop before Leonardo stabs the villain in the gut. The Turtles then give Shredder the chance to commit seppuku to restore his honor. In defiance, Shredder decides to set off a thermite grenade to kill himself and everyone around him. Donatello, however, knocks Shredder off the roof with the grenade and he falls to his death. Thus, the very first appearance of Shredder also included his own death. But that's not where this story ends. A couple of years later, Leonardo is attacked by the Foot Clan. Vastly outnumbered, he is shocked to find that Shredder is actually leading the charge. All of the Turtles are defeated and eventually flee New York for Massachusetts. After many months of recovering and hiding away from their home, the Turtles return to New York to face off against their resurfaced and resurrected foe, but not before fighting three deformed monsters that looked very similar to the Shredder. After defeating these creatures, they take on their master. When Leo comments that he literally watched Shredder die, the villain explains that through ancient practices, the Foot Clan were able to take the pieces of his body that were blown to bits from the grenade and bring him back to life by utilizing a type of worm that learns from and grows into what it eats. These worms form a colony of cells that mutate into an individual. The monsters they fought before were the first three experiments with the worms, and on the fourth attempt, the clan allowed the worms to feed on Saki himself, thus reincarnating him. As the fight continues, Leonardo earns a decisive victory by decapitating his opponent, and the Turtles all gather to burn the body of what was once the Shredder. Decades later, in the Tales of the TMNT anthology book, we see that the worms that made up Shredder's body would pour out of his mouth while his body burned and infested a nearby shark. The shark mutated into a vaguely humanoid sea creature and attacked the Turtles again, this time as a shark shredder. The Turtles eventually prevail against their newest foe, and the creature slowly began to gain a sentience that was separate from the original Shredder, essentially killing off the last remaining consciousness of the Turtles' most well-known villain. For more on some of the complicated concepts, characters, and history of comic book culture, check out comicallypedantic.com.